Hi, Jazz. I just thought I'd make a recording of this question so you can rewind and pause and stuff like that. So I recommend following along with what I do. Yeah. So the question, James purchased a number of reams of copy paper for his office at a cost of X plus 10% goods and service tax for each ream. So I want to point out they've introduced this variable X straight away here. So X is the cost of all of the reams that he bought, total cost before tax, okay. Each ream. If he didn't have to pay the tax, he could have purchased another 5 reams of the same paper for the same amount of money. And they want us to find the number of reams that he bought. Okay, so this piece of information here, it's just relevant for making our algebra work, really? Okay, so what it's saying is, if he didn't have to pay the tax, so the value of his tax money, X times 0.1, that's 10% of X, the value of his tax money could have purchased him 5 reams. So 10% of the total money would actually give him 5 reams. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that means that the cost of 1 ream before tax is X times 0.1 divided by 5. So that's just the cost of 1 ream. Nice. Okay, so just to simplify this a little bit further, I'm going to times the top and bottom of the fraction by 10. That's perfectly legal. So X on 50. So that 10 canceled the 0.1 on the top. So I times the top and bottom by 10 to get to what I just got down there. And that is the cost of 1 ream. Okay. Nice. So that's the cost of 1 ream. And keep in mind, that is before tax. Before tax. Now, how much money did he spend on paper before tax? Let's scroll up. X. X is how much money he spent on paper before tax. Okay, so if he spent X dollars on reams of paper before tax, and each one costs X on 50, we'll write the equation like this. So the number of reams equals total money spent divided by cost of each ream. So that makes sense. So you're splitting the total money into the cost of each little ream, and that gives you the number of reams that you bought. Okay, so then we can find, and they're asking us to find the number of reams. They said that was n. N equals X. I'll use a division symbol here. X divided by X on 50. Okay, cool. So here's the point where you may be thinking, oh my God, but I don't know what X is. So this is just not solvable. Well, it will work out. So what we're going to do first is we're going to convert both of those things to a fraction and see what we can do. So the way we're going to convert this into a fraction is X on 1. So that's the same as X. So we haven't really done anything. We've just rewritten it so it looks a little different. Okay, so X on 1 divided by X on 50. All right, so here's a little trick we learned back in year 5 or year 6 or something like that. What we can actually do is change the division symbol to a multiplication symbol if we take the reciprocal of this. So just putting the bottom on the top and the top on the bottom, and then you change that to a multiply, and that's how you divide fractions. So you just change it to a multiply. And then we actually multiply the top by the top, the bottom by the bottom. So on the top, we get 50x. And on the bottom, we get 1x or just x. And then what happens here is the x is canceled. which is very nice because now we don't even need to know what x is. And that just gives us 50. So the number of reams is 50. So it seems pretty simple, but it's not really what you would normally get from an equations question. So you just need to do a bit of practice, practice as much as you can on all sorts of different equations questions, because they're all fairly different. And yeah, see you tomorrow.